All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and it is 5 a.m. in the morning. We just got the update details and the maintenance notice for Marvel Future Fight, and I am so happy I stayed up for this, even though I have work later today. But let's get right into it, man. We're getting 3 new uniforms. We're getting potential realization for a couple different heroes. We're getting an awakening for Yelena as we expected. We're getting changes and greatly needed improvements to the ISO set system and the Uru amplification system. Okay, when have you guys ever heard me be super excited for ISO set rolling and Uru amplification? Let me just say, never. Ever. If you've been here for the like 5 years I've been making content on this game, I have never been excited to roll ISO set, or ever have I been excited to roll for 5 amplified slot for any character when it comes to wounds. And to be honest, I'm still not like super excited about it because it's still gonna drain a bunch of resources, but they have improved it and I am very happy with it. Okay, so let's dive into it. We're getting, obviously, notice here that there's gonna be a 7-hour drought ish, right, for Marvel Future Fight. The game is gonna be going down at 4 p.m. PDT, which is about 7 p.m. for me here in Ontario, and it's gonna be coming back around 11 p.m. give or take, right? Stuff could happen. It could be delayed an hour, 2, 3. Hopefully everything goes off without a hitch, and then at 11 p.m. or 2 a.m. for me, it's back up and rolling, and we can jump in and have some fun with these new uniforms. And hopefully mid-month we see like a US agent, because as you can see, there is no new character hinted here. However, don't fret, because even though we're only getting 3 new uniforms, some of the characters that are not getting uniforms are getting buffed. Taskmaster is getting a buff. Yelena is getting a buff outside of her awakened skill. We've never seen this. The Future Fight team actually went back and they buffed old uniforms because they're now a part of this update. Man, let's talk about it, boys, because it's spicy. So first and foremost, we have the compensation reward here. It's the typical. Actually, no, it's not. They buffed it. It's usually a 5-star hero, right? So now it's a 6-star hero chest. Now I have all the characters in the game, but for my free-to-play account, and for some of you guys with a growing roster, a 6-star hero, that's blessed, right? So they're buffing the rewards. The boost point should have stayed at 100. I think it's usually 100. I don't know why it's 50, but hey, free 6-star hero, you can't complain about that. You really can't. Anyways, let's jump over here to the update details, boys, because it is spice. I'm not even gonna lie. So 3 new uniforms, 1 for Falcon, Winter Soldier, and my boy Zemo. Obviously it's a speed update, right? So Falcon is actually getting a nice buff. His uniform bonus is pretty spicy. Actually, let me pull everything up. All right, boys, so as you can see right here, we have my man Falcon, aka the new Captain America, coming in with 10% chain hit on his uniform bonus, which is spice. He's getting skill damage and bonus damage. It's a good amount, a very good amount. He didn't have these things before, so that is really good. His leadership is still kind of doo-doo. It is 15% dodge. I thought, you know, him being America, Captain America, come on, Captain America is only known for one thing, being a great leader. Right? Well, I guess 2 things, a great leader and a great soldier, right? He follows orders and he gets the job done. However, I guess this version of Captain America is not, well, then again, Cap in Future Fight doesn't really have the greatest leadership. He just has an HP leadership, right? So it is what it is. Anyways, moving on, he has guaranteed dodge as a part of his passive now, which is way better than what he had before, which was like, I believe 1%. Actually, I think it was 1.5% all speed, which is just garbage. Now, moving on to his tier 2 passive, this is actually an amazing buff here. It's actually pretty crazy. The only way this could have been better if instead of when dodging, it was when attacking. It's absolutely insane considering what he had before, which was like, when he was being hit, he had a 25% chance to become immune to all damage for 5 seconds, and it had a 15-second cooldown. So 33% of the time, actually, it's less than that. Like, yeah, it was just terrible. All right. So they've actually buffed it, and now when dodging, so every time he triggers a dodge, given this thing is not on cooldown, it's only an 8-second cooldown, which is like half, just about half of what it was previously on his garbage tier 2 passive. Now on this godly tier 2 passive, pretty much half the time he's gonna be like dodging if you give him enough dodge, and when he dodge, he's gonna heal 30% of his max HP, give himself 40% more physical attack, and remove all debuffs. This is crazy. So like for PvP, he could be viable because you don't need to give him a debuff leadership, and half the time he's just gonna be immune to debuffs. Then he's gonna be healing and hitting harder. This tier 2 passive is spicy, boys. This is gonna make him really, really good, I think, for World Boss Legend, because he's not gonna get caught up as much. He'll be able to like shake off some of the debuffs passively. Like, this is amazing. So yeah, definitely as a speed character, higher than average dodge, and this is even more incentive to build him with high dodge, kind of like Daredevil. So that's pretty good. Moving on, we have the Falcon Kick. They just basically increase the damage and probably change the animation. Second skill here is a stun. Moving on to the third skill. So now he has defense down, stacks up to 50%, and invincibility with a damage proc for 2 hits. That is nice. That is nice. So you don't even have to worry too much, because if this skill actually lands, your other hit that goes off on another skill will still get that 50% extra spice. That is beautiful. And then he has, wow, so you don't even have to give him dodge. Well, unless this is a refreshing buff, you still will need to give him some dodge, because he's only going to have it for 3 seconds, and this is a 15-second cooldown, so 7.5 seconds you'll be able to put this up. But giving himself 60% dodge, this basically guarantees that his tier 2 passive will trigger. That's really, really good. In addition to that, he has 6 seconds of immunity. This skill itself will have a 7.5 second cooldown if you have max skill cooldown. So with immunity here and invincibility there, Falcon is looking like he could be a force to be reckoned with. He also has stun, but more importantly, silence. So for ABX, he could be a force to be reckoned with. He also has, wow, a whopping 70% ignore dodge, which means he can counter himself. But more importantly, since he's a speed character, you never know, he might be able to work in ABX on some seasons. But then again, Luna Snow, is very, very unlikely that they're going to create something that will eclipse Luna Snow. But look at this spice right here. Ignore dodge, and then 40% all attack and all defense, plus 35% crit rate. This is absolutely amazing. This is a top to bottom, 0 to super omega god tier hero type of passive if his damage is any kind of good, and survivability is built in. So if you are a Falcon fan, man, get to whaling, bro. Get your wallets ready. This boy look like he about to bring some spice. Speed meta, we could very well be looking at it, boys. Moving on, let's take a look at my man Buck. Okay, my boy Bucky, what did they do for you? Ooh, they gave you, wow, they gave you 15%. So Falcon got 10, you got 15. They didn't buff your HP like I was hoping for. It's still only 5%. And he still has super armor on all defense. I believe that is exactly the same as what he had before from the Infinity War uniform. Yep, it is in fact the exact same thing. Moving on, all out assault on his tier 2 passive, they've actually improved it. Before, the ignore dodge by 100% was only for 1 second. Now it's 3 seconds, so that's pretty good. What else? They added skill damage and bonus damage, so you're not reliant on running him with Taskmaster to get that anymore. So Taskmaster's value for him specifically has gone down a little bit, but we all know we need more supports for World Boss Legend, so Taskmaster still gives you some ignore dodge, so it's still something to think about, plus Taskmaster's uniform bonus. Moving on, we still have the all attack buff on his second skill, and it is still 10 seconds. And also, I believe they've buffed this to make it so that it no longer overrides your ISO set. Before it was. Moving on, they've actually given him a counter attack. Okay. And he still has damage immunity on his third skill. They went ahead and they changed his damage accumulation like I was hoping for, from damage taken to damage dealt. Before it was 4% of the damage taken, now it's 10% of the damage dealt, but don't get too excited just yet. It is 0.6, not 1% or 1.2% like we've seen from some top tier characters. However, accumulation, however small it is, damage dealt is still really good, so we'll have to wait and see just how this pans out for him. it is nice that they changed that. I expect to see his value rise. Moving on, we have invincibility. I do not believe he had invincibility before on his 4th skill, so this is really good. However, they did remove his ignore iframe that was here, so that is kind of a bummer, but I believe they removed it and added it to his tier 3 skill. But I believe his tier 3 skill already like natively came with ignore iframe, so I'm not too sure why they did that. I would have liked it if he had kept the ignore iframe on the 4th skill and had a tier 3 skill with iframe ignore, so that's kind of a bum deal. Looking at his 5th skill here, they went ahead and they buffed the attack and defense, but they actually lowered the crit rate. Don't know why they decided to do that. And also they increased the cooldown time from 16 seconds to 18 seconds, so I'm not sure if the skill is longer and that is why they made the cooldown time longer. But either way, I'm not too fond of the fact that they took away the 10% crit rate buff. Not sure why they had to do that, but I'll take the 20% more attack. Also, they removed the dodge. You had before 1 second of dodge. Actually, he had 100% dodge for 1 second. They actually removed that, and he also had fear. So they did some tweaking here. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out. Overall though, Buck is looking pretty nice, not gonna lie. I am very excited for Falcon though. Moving on, the super villain, the speed super villain. We had 2 superheroes, now we gotta talk about the villainous one. And I'm not too happy with this uniform bonus. 5% all attack. Bro, come on, man, come on. And this is only applying to self, bro. Why could you guys not copy the Taskmaster formula? I literally got, like, guys, please, man, I gave you the opportunity to just press Control C and Control V. Bro, we always criticize you guys for copy pasting, and the one time we wanted you guys to copy paste something, you wouldn't do it. Just copy paste Taskmaster's uniform bonus and put it on Zemo. Oh my gosh, at least you guys buffed his leadership, so that's good. They buffed it from 50% to 60%. That is really good. Plus they also gave him 35% ignore dodge, so this will apply to all your villains, which will help you against null, or it will help you in maybe ABX depending on the season, because some seasons the Frost Beast actually has really high dodge, so having ignore dodge will help you there if you don't cancel the roar. So that's pretty good. Let's see, don't like the tier 1 tier 2 passive thing because they're still keeping the whole bleed nonsense, which was never good when it came out. I don't know what these guys are smoking, but get off that, please, guys. That's not the Marvel Future Fight we're in right now, and we've never been in a bleed meta, so I don't know what you guys are doing. So we have stun on the 1st skill, which we did not have before. They're not touching the 2nd skill. However, for the 3rd skill, he actually has iframe ignore, and he has stun and silence. Silence is pretty good for ABX depending on the characters you're using. Maybe Zemo himself could become a DPS for you. We'll have to wait and see. So right here he has penetration, 100% penetration in fact, and then 35-30. Hold on, they've actually nerfed this. Before, his 3rd skill was actually giving you 45% all attack and all defense and 35% critical rate. So they've actually nerfed this. If you actually take a look in game here, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. His 3rd skill, villainous stab, before it was 45, and then 1 second of speed, or 1% of speed, and then 35% crit rate. So they took off 5% of the crit rate and 10% of the attack and defense for whatever reason. I'm not too fond of that. Moving on, we have the 4th skill, which also got a buff because now it actually has paralysis and it has defense down that actually applies in World Boss Ultimate, which is good. Before it wasn't. Moving on to the 5th skill, what do we have here? Wrathful Slice. And we have defense that applies in World Boss, and we have super armor and all defense. The super armor and all defense was already here, so basically the only thing they did was they made it so the defense down applies in World Boss Ultimate, and I guess they tweaked the numbers a little bit. Actually no, the percentages are exactly the same. So pretty much all they did was make it so that defense down applies in World Boss Ultimate, which he should have been from the start. So it's nice that you get some value out of him in our World Boss Ultimate. But right now we're in the World Boss Legend meta, so It is what it is though. It's nice that he can still do work in Ultimate because of the defense down if you have no Pierce. All right, so don't like the fact that they nerfed Zemo just a little bit, but he should be getting a tier 3 mid-month, so just keep that in mind. These 5 characters are getting their potential so they can get to level 70, so you can start working on them if you want to. I would not recommend it. None of them are like really strong level 60, so getting them to level 70 shouldn't be like a priority. But hey, if you really like them, go ahead. Maybe like in the next couple months they can get like a rework or whatnot, and then they can be meta. All right, so right here we have Falcon's tier 3 skill, and we can see the effects. It has bind and paralysis. The paralysis actually ignores immunity, so it works in World Boss Ultimate. He has defense down that stacks up to 60% for 10 seconds. He has invincibility, and the big one here, he actually increases damage dealt to supervillain faction by 70% for 10 seconds. He also has damage accumulation and is 1.5%, which is crazy. And then on top of that, they gave him 50% all attack for 10 seconds. So this skill is actually insane. It's the most important thing in his kit. Looking at this, I feel like his tier 2 performance will pale in comparison because of all these effects that he's getting right here. There's just so much damage here, so the skill itself might hit incredibly hard, but even if it doesn't, as soon as you pop it and get these effects, the rest of your kit is just gonna be hitting differently. So this is absolutely insane. Let's take a look at Taskmaster here and see what perfect mimicry actually looks like. So we have stun and paralyze, which neither one applies in World Boss Ultimate, which sucks. His defense down stacks up to 60, but it starts off at 5 and then stacks from there, whereas Falcon starts off at 20. So Falcon is definitely the highlight of the update. 80% chance to penetrate pretty much everything. He removed debuffs. It's only for 3 seconds. Falcon actually removes that passively for 4 seconds every 8 seconds, so that's crazy. Immunity to all damage. So like Taskmaster is tier 3 compared to Falcon's tier 3 is actually a joke, bro. Falcon looks like he should be your priority if you're looking for damage, and then Taskmaster, because of his uniform and what we already use him for, it looks like Taskmaster is gonna be more of a support, which this is gonna kill Taskmaster fans because we always wanted Taskmaster to be like a DPS god, and it seems like, yeah, they kind of shafted him on the tier 3. Not gonna lie. Moving on. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I promise, mama, I'm not gonna cry. Anyways, moving on. Falcon tier 3 looking kind of what you would expect. It looks like what you would expect. You know, Falcon flying around and then lighting them up with the pistols. Could have been better. All right, could have been flashier. It's no Ebony Maw. Let's see. Taskmaster. Taskmaster's not too flashy neither. I don't think I'm too fussed about either of these tier 3s, you know. I don't know if I was expecting anything better, but yeah, I'm not too fussed about either one. All right, so moving on to Yelena, we have a bunch of useless effects here like burn and shock and chance to miss. We know none of that actually matters for game modes like top tier game modes, PvP, or for legend or even ultimate, so I don't care about that. Paralysis matters though. We got the typical stuff on the awakening, which is the crit chance to crit damage, but this is not something we see all the time. She has 15% chance to heal before she had no heal, so this is very, very, very important. On top of that, she also has 70% ignore dodge, 90% penetration, invincibility, debuff removal, and the standard 25% all attack buff. So pretty good. Keep in mind, Yelena already had damage accumulation in her kit on her 5th skill with both of her previous uniforms, so we don't need to worry too much in terms of getting damage accumulation for her on her awakened skill. All right, moving on. Let's see what it actually looks like. So we got the widows coming in, doing their thing, shooting the place up, and then they walk away in style while everything blow up. I think I like these way more. You know, I like these way more. Way more than Taskmaster and Falcon. So moving on, we have something very, very, very important here. So guided quest tier 3 added. So just like how the game has been really generous, where it allows players, new accounts, and I guess intermediate players who haven't built up certain characters to get them at tier 2 for free just using energy, they've now added this thing that allows you to pick up some of the best characters in the game, fan favorites if you will, for free and get them all the way to tier 3. Some of these characters you can get them to tier 2 for free, like Captain America, Black Widow, and Iron Man. The game gives you them for free within like a day of playing, actually less than a day, like a couple of hours, maybe a couple of minutes, depending on like how fast you fly through the content, right? And then on top of that, they're in the guided quest to get to tier 2, but now you can get them from the guided quest to get them to tier 3. So the game is literally trying to accelerate new and progressing players to getting their very first tier 3 as quickly as possible. And just like I've been saying in my free-to-play streams and stuff, it's much harder to get awakened characters than it actually is to get tier 3, and this quest itself is making that even more true. So this is absolutely amazing. Now there's two different tiers to it. There is I would say a free-to-play 100% gonna cost you nothing version, where you can get Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Spider-Man, Vision, and Ant-Man completely to tier 3 for free. Keep in mind you can do this 10 times. However, there is a character plus package where you pay a couple thousand crystals and then these characters become available to you. Keep in mind, you still get the 50% discount on their uniform, and this does not count the first time uniform purchase bonus, okay? So one version is free, which is the default characters, and then the next version, if you scroll down here a little bit further, you'll see this right here where you pay 2,500 crystals, you get some materials, and then you get access to these characters and you can begin pushing them up to tier 3. Now, some of you guys are gonna complain and say, yo, 2,500 crystals is way too expensive, but I'm gonna look at it like this: 2,500 crystals for a tier 3 Ghost Rider, a tier 3 Hulk, a tier 3 Thor, a tier 3 Loki, tier 3 any of these characters for 2,500 crystals is worth it. And not only that, it's not one, bro, you're getting access to 6 characters. 6 characters for 2,500 crystals, and then you get access to their missions. It's actually a good deal, in my opinion. Because like I said, you'll be able to do this and you'll be able to get all of these characters to tier 3 for free because you can do it 10 times. All right, so 2,500 crystals, you'll be able to save that in like a couple months. And actually, if you're in your very first month of playing the game, you have so many ways to get crystals because you're just constantly unlocking characters and completing challenges. Yeah, for me, in my first couple months of playing on a free-to-play account, I was able to amass quite a bit of crystals, but it slows down after a while. So I will say, although they're adding in a lot of ways to build up characters, I would like to see them add more ways for players to earn crystals from like monthly events and whatnot. So that's the next step, but I really do think this thing offers value, and I would and I will buy this on my free-to-play account. So I would recommend it to you guys, okay? Some people are gonna say it's not worth it, but I think it is worth looking at, okay? There is another package, however. Here, it's a guided quest special plus, where you pay almost the price of a deluxe package and you get a tier 3 selector. So this is for the people who are in a rush. You will only be able to choose these characters, but you won't need to go through the quest and actually get them to tier 3 that way. You will just get this selector right away and then you'll be able to pick up one of these characters. Completely up to you. I don't think this is worth, all right? Even though this is still cheaper than a deluxe pack, and for a deluxe package, like for Magneto, Moonstone, Invisible Woman, Psylocke, you're paying 6,600 crystals, and you're paying for a tier 2 character and unlimited access to your biometrics and feathers and other materials that you get from the missions. That to me is more worth it than paying 5,750 crystals and getting a instant tier 3, right? Instant gratification. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's more worth it to just get access to these characters via the first package and then slowly build them up just playing the missions, because the mission's just gonna cost you energy, right? This is just for like new whales that are coming in and just want to blow money to catch up. That's it, all right? That's my personal opinion, because you're only going to be able to pick from these pool of characters, and buying the tier 3 selected thing is not going to give you an additional thing. You're still only going to be able to do this quest 10 times. right? Just keep that in mind. And there's 12 characters in here, and you can only do it 10 times. Just by the way, keep Ant-Man in the back of your mind and Spider-Man, right? They're currently the worst two from the lot here. So if you can only do this 10 times, maybe by the time you get to your 10th one, Ant-Man and Spider-Man, they're like top tier in the game. Spider-Man has a movie coming up soon, right? But I think for now, they should be on the back end. All right, let's get it. See what else they got down here for us. So this is what I was very, very excited about. ISO set changes. So now you can actually see a category for what sets are most like popular. But keep in mind, just because it's popular doesn't mean it's correct, because there's more players playing the game incorrectly than players playing the game correctly. That's just fact. But this will give you a general idea of what ISO sets majority of the players are using. Okay, majority. This is fairly accurate. Hokusai is going to be on most of the new players, but most of the endgame top tier players, they're going to be rocking with Power Fragment Hulk or Overdrive. So it makes sense why this is 12.5 and this is 12.5. Okay, so this is pretty good. I like the fact that they're adding this. However, it gets even better than this, right? Now you can actually listen to this. Agents can now select a specific set bonus and automatically change to that set. So basically, if I'm not rolling for Power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive, I can just select one of them or both of them and just say, hey, keep rolling, take all my gold, I'm gonna go make me some coffee. I don't even drink coffee, right? But sometimes this thing drives me to the wall, man. But anyways, you can select the set that you're looking for. I'm assuming you can select two, but if you can only select one, even that is fine with me. I can put my phone down and I don't have to constantly keep clicking to restart it when RNG just screws me. In fact, they could make this even better and just make it so I pay a one-time fee of like, I don't know, 5 million gold, and they just give me the set straight up and save me the time, right? And the aggravation of seeing it roll and not get what I want. But this is a good first step. So I can just put the phone down, select the set that I'm looking for, and let it keep rolling. This is dope. All right. However, if you're free to play and you're low on gold, be careful with this, because you could burn through all your gold and get nothing. Okay, I've rolled a lot of ISO sets in my time, and sometimes you'll take like 200,000 gold to get what you want. Other times it will take 20 million. Moving on. This is really good though. This is very, very good. Uru amplification, status stabilization, and chain amplification. So basically what they're doing here is, just like for ISO set, they're making it so that you can choose what you're looking for. So basically, if you're trying to amplify all the slots, they're adding in a feature where you can now say, hey, I want you to keep rolling until all the slots are amplified. But in addition to that, if you are rolling and you have 4 slots amplified and you're trying to get 5 slots amplified, and you end up, I don't know, running out of gold or whatnot, and you don't end up getting 5 slots amplified, but you landed on a 3 when you had a 4-piece roll already, the game is actually going to keep the set thing that was applied before, which is the 4, and then just revert you back to that, which is absolutely amazing. This is amazing. So you lose nothing trying to gain something. This is absolutely amazing, man. So yeah, I'm going to be on a mission to roll a lot of my my set into 5 pieces from 4 pieces. So this is really, really good. Salute to the Future Fight team for that. Moving on, this is pretty good. They're buffing the legendary battle for Black Widow. They're adding in some bonus rewards. They're not taking away anything. So if you completed challenges before, they're not taking away anything, but they're adding in some new bonus rewards, which is pretty good. Right, they're trying to spice it up and make it so that if people didn't buy these already, they'll go out and buy it. The bum thing about this is the free-to-play community, they were hoping to get some buyers for Zemo, no dice. However, I'm hoping that Zemo gets a little bit of a buff from his tier 3, which is coming mid-month. Obviously, at this point, we know that's the case, right? Because he's the only one that's just getting a uniform. Come on, it's a speed update. We know what it is. Anyways, so really like Zemo's icon. I think that's gonna be my favorite one. Falcon, yeah, Falcon, I like it. Black Widow, yeah, it's okay, but I really like Zemo. I think Lemo, okay. Anyways, I'm talking too fast. I think Zemo looks the dopest. Anyways, moving on, we do have some really cool changes here. So now they're gonna be adding icons, and when you click on these icons, it will show you different things about different skills in the game. So right here on Mr. Fantastic's tier 3 skill, you can see they've actually taken away the wording that used to say physical damage, and now they've added an icon. I think they're doing this so that they can add more icons in the future. because as you can see, one icon says physical damage and the other one says guard break. So that means if you don't have super armor or immunity to guard break, this skill will guard break you, which will meaning rocks your head back until the skill is over, or you activate some type of guard break immunity effect. So this is pretty good, pretty detailed. I really like it, and there's a tutorial for different effects being added to the game. Also, every player, new and existing, will actually get 5 days worth of shield support, which is really cool. If you already bought this like myself for the inventory slot, they'll give you an extra 5 days. So basically this is a trial run. I also think this will give you autoplay plus in Shadowland. It doesn't say it here, but the shield support normally gives you autoplay plus in Shadowland. So they're basically giving you a taste, you know, like I'm gonna say it, but it's kind of true. Kind of like a drug dealer. Like they give you a little taste to get you hooked, and then you spend money to come back and you keep buying and buying until before you know it, you're a fiend. This is exactly what they're doing. They're giving you 500 additional inventory slot, and then they're gonna give you all these extra effects like uniform XP increase, which is insane, additional clear tickets daily, and like I said, the Shadowland thing isn't listed here, but it's usually a part of the shield support. So yeah, this is a good thing, but trust me, once you taste it, it's gonna be painful to let it go. Moving on, some very good changes are coming here. I don't want to bore you guys with all the small stuff, so I'll go through the bigger stuff. Okay, 4, 5, 6, and 7, actually even number 8 is not really the biggest deal. Number 9 is actually insane though. It is to fix an issue with Luke Cage's newest uniform, his tier 2 passive Power Man not being overlapped with HP increase upon successful dodge from specific card bonuses. So if you were like running him with a PvP card, the New Avengers card, the Thanos card, the Black Widow card, you were not getting as much as you could have been getting with him before. So now they're changing that passive from 30% HP increase to 30% off max HP increase. This is actually a buff to Luke Cage. Luke Cage is already one of the tankiest characters, one of the hardest characters in the game to kill, and they literally just made him better. Like, oh my gosh, Luke Cage is now absolutely broken beyond belief. Number 10 here is actually very important for new players, actually new and intermediate. If you have a lot of Pierce on your cards, you clap the mutant boss like they're nothing fierce. But if you are actually a new player or a progressing player, the mutant bosses are very difficult, and they're actually tweaking the difficulty because some of them actually feel like they're almost legend difficulty even though they're just ultimate. It's crazy, right? So they're basically nerfing or making all of these bosses more digestible. That's actually very good. The hero information screen UI has been partially changed. That's okay, whatever. Gear enhancement button will now show up when that's okay. So here's the thing, number 12, before, when you had the Winter Soldier Infinity War uniform, when you use this 2 skill, it would overlap with your ISO set bonus. So if your ISO set was giving you like 30% or 40% all attack buff, and then you use this 2 skill, it would just override that and then give you 10% all attack, which was dumb, right? But now it does not happen anymore. Hopefully that will not be the case on the new uniform as well. So number 13, ignore targeting effect has been added to Winter Soldier's ultimate skill. That's his tier 3 skill. I thought it already had ignore targeting, but I guess not. So I guess the ignore targeting that they took off of his new 4th skill from his newest uniform, they're putting on his tier 3. Okay, if he didn't have ignore targeting on his tier 3 and it's now on it, that's fine, because his tier 3 was now his strongest skill anyways. Moving on, so number 14 is very important. The following effect has been added to Yelena, the Marvel Studios Black Widow snowsuit. Only the snowsuit, keep that in mind. First skill, bazooka launch, based on a level 6 stat, 100% chance to be immune to all damage for 3 seconds, and she now heals 10% of her max HP. So now she has 2 ways to heal. She can heal from her awakened skill, and she can heal from her first skill. And may I remind you, her first skill only has a 5.5 second cooldown. So this right here is what her first skill currently looks like. Keep in mind, this is the skill that everybody was afraid of when it first came out because it had iframe ignore. So Yelena, her survivability is going up in this uniform. This was her most popular uniform because it's the PvP one. The PvE one is already really good, so they didn't need to tweak anything. They just basically added some survivability to this one. for like no reason at all. Well, no, I like it. I like it. I give her like max HP and dodge. I'm gonna take this off obviously because now I want to play with her and see how much I can squeeze out of her. But damn, I was not expecting to get immunity and a heal on her one skill. I don't think any character in the game has a heal on their one skill, so that's kind of a new thing. And iframe ignore on it too. That's popping, bro. That's popping. Now number 15 is actually really good. So check this out. Taskmaster, Marvel Studios, Black Widow. Some skill effect has been adjusted. The following effect has been added to the third active skill for Taskmaster, the grenade shockwave, and it's a 100% chance to be immune to all damage for 5 seconds. Before, he did not have that. I'll show you what it currently looks like in the game. And the following effect has been added to the 5th skill, grenade shockwave. Wait, they just listed grenade shockwave as his 3rd and his 5th skill. Are these guys tripping? They are tripping, bro. I think they meant to say his 3rd skill. So now he increases attack by 10% of 1% of the damage taken for 10 seconds. Okay, so he now has damage accumulation, and it cannot exceed 15% of his max HP. So hopefully he gets a nice HP buff on his tier 3. Let me show you guys what his skill set currently looks like and what they're actually buffing. So right here on his 3rd skill, grenade shockwave, they're going to be adding immunity. As you can see, he does not have immunity, and this skill kind of leaves him exposed, as you're about to see when we take him into the preview here. So you can see he's up in the face of the enemy. He's swinging about. That cannot happen. You're gonna get your head rocked in any kind of competitive game mode. So they're gonna be putting damage accumulation here, so when he's taking damage from dropping the bombs and stuff, and he's actually gonna get immunity. And since he already has super armor on this, he won't get guard broken in most cases. So that is really good. The 5th skill, I don't think they're touching. I think they're just adding all of this to the 3rd skill. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it would have been nice if Taskmaster had gotten a small heal to go along with these new effects, but this is better than I thought they would have done. I didn't think they would go back and buff YELENA, but they really want to sell the Black Widow, so it is what it is. And Taskmaster getting a buff out of nowhere, I'm here for it. There are a couple other things here that they actually fixed, like story fragments not being able to combine properly, Proxima's new uniform not giving you the extra damage to superhero, YELENA's skill not actually displaying that it decreases all defense and War Boss Ultimate and stuff. But overall, these are some really good patch notes, man. Really good. Also, they're fixing the Korean text popping up when you're crafting cards. Okay, so guys, leave me your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about these patch notes, man? I think overall they're very good. There's some amazing changes here, some good quality of life stuff, and I'm looking forward to playing with Falcon, Winter Soldier, Zemo, YELENA, and everybody else, man. Like, honestly, this is fire. I'm gone.